Order of business, the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd please stand and join us in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Council. Our next order of business is citizen comments. This is an opportunity for citizens to address the council on agenda items or other items they wish to bring to the attention of the council. Citizens are encouraged to discuss operational issues in advance with the mayor. In consideration of others wishing to speak, please limit your remarks to 3 minutes. Also, the Lewiston City Council pledges to practice and promote civility within the governing body, advocating for civil engagement, respecting others and their viewpoints, and finding solutions for the betterment of the city of Lewiston. With that, I will open up any citizen comments we may have tonight. Welcome. If you'd please introduce yourself for the record, just your name and town of residence. We don't need your physical address. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Okay, my name's Keisha West. I've been a resident of Nez Perce County for the last 33 years. I just was curious regarding the water reservoir that happened almost a year ago. I watched November and December's meetings and thought there was going to be an update and hadn't heard anything. Well, it's my understanding it's not, the city's deemed it not their issue, but the company that they hired to do this stuff. I'm just a little concerned on the lack of communication regarding the tort claims with it and what the city's position is to help get, at least keep us informed or get the momentum going on it. So that's really the only comment I have.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are taking those concerns seriously. I just want to tell you that, and I appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you. Are there any other citizen comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to presentations. Item A, November financial report. Financial report for November 2023 in accordance with Idaho Code 50-208. There's no oral report unless you have questions tonight, councilors. Hearing none, we'll move to the consent agenda. Old business, all items on the consent agenda are considered routine by the council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these issues unless the councilor so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered on the active agenda under items moved from the consent agenda. Councilors?
Mayor, for a motion,
Motion's in order.
I'd move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Litkey, seconded by Councilor Towsley to approve the consent agenda as presented. Is there discussion? Clerk Brocky?
Council President Lidkey,
Aye.
Councilor Kleberg,
Aye.
Councilor Forsman. Aye. Councilor Schroeder,
Aye.
Councilor Towsley,
Aye.
Councilor Spiegelmeier.
Aye.
Thank you, councilors. We'll now move quickly to Roman numeral 7, outgoing councilor comments and adjournment of the 2022-2023 Lewiston City Council and sine die. So I would ask for any council comments first.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Towsley.
thank you. I'd like to say a few things. This place, this entity that we call the city of Lewiston, to my mind, has always been based on a theme of being a service center. And never, not once, from the time I first moved here to this day, have I ever encountered anyone working for the city who's not been anything but helpful, informative, respectful, and yes, cheerful when dealing with me or carrying out their duties. I thank you all for that. Even before I became a city councilor. I still get a charge every time I'm coming off the hill of the Lewiston grade and look down on this city in the valley. It's a great place, and it's a great place because it's made up of great people. Elections come and go. Sharp words and blah, blah, blah rhetoric sometimes seem overwhelming. But at the end of the day, the citizens of our town see through the BS and look to those who will lead by listening and learning, not who can shout the loudest or create the most drama. To the public, you'll gain a lot more respect from this days if after you've wagged your fingers at us or questioned our intelligence or lack of common sense, geez, I love that term, that you'll remain in your seat and listen to what actually happens at these meetings. Unfortunately, very few do. To our newest city councilor, Jessica Klein, from the first time I saw you sit through our meetings, taking copious notes, I knew you were conscientious about giving a serious effort. I hope you'll continue to be throughout as your immersion into the City Hall grows. To Mayor Johnson and the current City Council, I appreciate the hard work you continue to do for the city, and please don't forget what Charles de Gaulle once said, the cemeteries are full of indispensable people. And lastly, to my wife, Cheryl, thank you for being my toughest critic and greatest inspiration. And thank you for putting up with me during this time. Ciao.
Counselor Forsman.
I just want to thank Counselor Towsley for his time served and his dedication to the city. And all the times I was able to bounce ideas off or us go through thought processes. He was definitely an advocate for the city of Lewiston and will be missed. And again, I just thank you for your service and the time that you put in and hope you enjoy traveling and the rest of your time.
Counselor Spickelmeyer.
Yeah, I wanted to pass on too. I know we don't vote on the same very often, but I always appreciate and respect your comments, and
Thank you.
thank you for being here.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, Counselor Towsley, if you would join me on the steps in front of the dais here. We have a small token of our appreciation to share with you. You might want to take your stuff with you too, I don't know.
Take your pack and get
You can run back up the steps.
I'm going to take it to Carol.
No, you can leave this here next to me.
And it's always been that way, even when we didn't. Always appreciate that part of it. We main cities absolutely Cheryl. Presented to Rick Towsley, Council Member 2022 to 2023, appreciation of your leadership of our community, vision, sound guidance, innovation, results, public service, responsiveness, empathy, building for the future, planning and development, sincerity. We thank you, Daniel G. Johnson, Mayor, panel, Council President, City Council members, Cassie Forsman, Jim Cleaver, Kathy Schroeder, and John Spillman. Congratulations, Councilor.
Out in a hurry.
I know, it's hard to, these things don't slide for easy.
Yes, you can.
Right.
The oath of office. I will prepare the form.
Oh, I was like, what are we supposed to do? I don't know. He said John. No. Oh, stand. Got it. Thank you. We already stayed on.
All right, so I am going to read the oath in its entirety, and then at the end, you will state I do or I will. So if you will raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Idaho, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of counselor of the City of Lewiston according to the best of your ability? Congratulations.
Councilor Speckmeyer.
Okay.
Do you have one for each of the?
Yeah, you come up here now. You guys up here now. Not yet.
No.
Excuse me. Oh, goodness.
Well, Councilor Klein, welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Welcome.
Is there anything you'd like to say before we get started here?
I'm truly humbled, and I hope I can make the city proud. And if you have any questions or any concerns, please feel free to message me and come to me and get to know me.
Thank you, Councilor. Next order of business is the election of a council president. This is an action item. The council president shall be elected by 1/2 plus one of the members of the full council, that is 4 votes. You can nominate somebody or you can nominate yourself. So with that, I will open the floor for nominations.
Mayor,
Councilor Forsman,
I nominate Counselor Kleberg.
Councilor Spickelmeyer,
I nominate Counselor Litke.
okay. Actually, if I read my instructions, you said the city clerk is supposed to be doing this.
Oh, she's like, I'm out of it.
You're doing such a good job.
Out of it, buddy.
Yes.
Thank you, Chief. You know, and I actually saw that we did not have Chief Cusick with us tonight, and normally he is the sergeant at arms. So if anything breaks out, I'm going to ask you, Chief Reitmeyer, you would step into his place, then you can ask.
How you're doing.
Okay, well,
Arm wrestling contest.
Clerk Brocky, I'm going to turn it back over to you. I didn't mean to take your jobs from you, so
All
please.
right. Are there any other nominations? Right. So I will do a roll call vote, taking the vote of each counselor. You can cast a vote for one nominee. Counselor Kleberg,
Jim Kleberg.
Counselor Forsman, Kleberg. Counselor Schroeder,
Jim Kleber.
Counselor Lidke,
Jim Kleberg.
Counselor Klein,
Hannah Lidke.
Counselor Spickelmeyer.
Anna Litke.
Your new council president is Jim Kleberg.
Okay, thank you. Congratulations, Counselor. Okay, Counselors, next we moved to the active agenda. Item A, Carlton Hangar Addition Final Plat. Considering approval of the Carlton Hangar Addition Final Plat to subdivide approximately 8.99 acres of property located west of 4th Street between Warner Avenue and Park Avenue into 29 development lots and 1 public stormwater tract, and approve the related reasons statement. This is an action item. We have our city surveyor with us today, Mark Wigan. Mark, welcome. If you'd please introduce yourself for the record, the floor is yours.
Mr. Mayor, council members, good evening. Mark Wigan, City Surveyor. So this is the approval of the final plat of the Carlton Hangar Addition, and this is the final step in the process. As detailed in the agenda packet, the developer has completed all of the construction improvements, and they have been approved by the city engineer as attested to by his signature on the plat. The finished development is in substantial conformance with the preliminary plat that the city council approved previously. And the subdivision improvements and plat document both adhere to the requirements of the City of Lewiston Subdivision Ordinance, City Code Chapter 32, and Idaho State Code requirements for plats and vacations, which is Title 50, Chapter 13. City staff recommend that the Lewiston City Council approve the Carlton Hangar Edition final plat as presented, and I stand for any questions.
Thank you, Mark. Councilors, Councilor Lidkey.
I just want to be clear, when looking at the map, there's no common space or parks that will be donated later to the city. Am I reading that plan correctly?
This is correct. There are no city parks in this particular subdivision.
Thank you.
Councilors, further questions? Councilor Schroeder.
I move to approve the final plat for the Carlton Hangar addition and approve the related reasons statement.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Schroeder, seconded by Councilor Spickmeyer to approve the final plat for the Carlton Hangar Addition and approve the related reasons statement. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Council. Next up, active agenda item B, FOP contract amendments. Considering approval of an amendment to the October 1, 2023 to September 30th, 2026 Fraternal Order Police Collective Bargaining Agreement. This is an action item, and we have with us tonight our Human Resources Director, Ms. Nikki Province. Nikki, if you'd please introduce yourself for the record. Remember to speak up loudly, clearly. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Nikki Province, HR Director for the City of Lewiston. In front of you is an amendment to the newly approved collective bargaining agreement for the Fraternal Order of Police. In the amendment, you can see that there's just a couple of changes. One of the amendments was something previously approved that we did not realize needed to be included in the agreement, and so we're just asking you to approve that again, since this is a new agreement. And then the position records supervisor, it is not a new position, it's a position that they adjusted to give new duties and new title, but it's not a new position, just a new title, a new responsibility, and so we want to update the agreement to include that records supervisor position.
Thank you, Nikki. Councilor, any questions?
Mayor, for a motion.
Motion's in order.
I would move to approve the First Amendment to the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Lewiston and the Fraternal Order of Police, Lewis Clark Lodge Number 10. Second.
Been moved by Councilor Lidkey, seconded by Councilor Forsman to approve the First Amendment to the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Lewiston and the Fraternal Order of Police, Lewis Clark Lodge Number 10. Is there discussion? Clerk Brockie?
Council President Kleberg,
Aye.
Councilor Forsman,
Aye.
Councilor Schroeder,
Aye.
Councilor Lidkey,
Aye.
Councilor Klein,
Aye.
Councilor Spickmeyer.
Aye.
Thank you, councilors. Next, we move to item C, Ralph Crawford Art Donation, considering acceptance of the donation of 3 bronze statues by Ralph Crawford to the Lewiston City Library and approval of the Lewiston City Library Public Art Acceptance Agreement. This is an action item, and we have with us tonight our Library Director, Ms. Lynn Johnson. Lynn, if you'd please introduce yourself for the record, the floor is yours.
Good evening, councilors and Mayor Johnson. Lynn Johnson, Library Director. As you can see in your packet, the process of attempting to donate the 3 major pieces of Crawford art that we have had in the library for almost 10 years was begun in July. Unfortunately, not long after that, Mr. Crawford passed away, so that complicated the issue a bit with that donation falling back onto the trust. And with the help of Jennifer Tangano, we have worked through that process following the library processes of referring the first approval to the Library Art Committee, which is a subcommittee of the board. They recommended approval to the board, and then the board has approved that. And the final approval is up to City Council. Tonight, I am recommending that you also approve it, as I have met several times with Mrs. Crawford, and the family still wishes to make the donation.
Thank you, Director. Councilor Schroeder?
I move to accept the donation of the 3 bronze statues to the Lewiston City Library and authorizing the mayor to sign the acceptance agreement.
Second.
Been moved by Counselor Schroeder, second by Counselor Forsman, to accept the donation of 3 bronze statues to the Lewiston City Library and authorizing the mayor to sign the acceptance agreement. Is there further discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Counselor Lidke?
just a couple of questions. Lynn, one of the things that was mentioned was that we're not sure of additional cost to our insurance. Has that been settled?
That has not. We will be required to seek an appraisal first. Finding someone, Counselor Litke, who can advise us in the value of those bronzes has been a little bit challenging. I do now have a name to contact. The work, when it is submitted and a loan agreement is entered into with the library, is valued by the owner at that time. At the time, initially, those pieces were loaned to us. They were valued at almost $100,000 by the creator. Of course, art markets change over time, and so we will want to pursue either someone visiting to give us an appraisal or potentially even using video to give us an appraisal. Our city risk manager, Jean Harrington, is well aware of the need of that and has been advising it, but we were waiting for these steps to be approved first.
Follow up?
Counselor Lidke?
Just for a comment, I would just like to say thank you to Jennifer. I think this is well done. And I appreciate that we have the caveat that if we, as a city, decide to no longer use them or display them, they go back to the trust. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Counselor Forsman?
I also thank Jennifer, and I also want to thank those that donated it. That is a very cool piece of art that we are able to have for those to enjoy, and so that's very kind-hearted, and I'm glad to be having it displayed here.
Thank you, Counselor. If there's no further discussion, Clerk Rocky?
Council President Kleberg,
Aye.
Counselor Forsman,
Aye.
Counselor Schroeder,
Aye.
Counselor Lidke,
Aye.
Counselor Klein,
Aye.
Counselor Spiegelmeier.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, councilors. Next, we move to item D, council liaisons to city boards and commissions. Considering the appointment of city councilors as council liaisons to the following city boards and commissions: Audit Committee, Downtown Business Improvement District Advisory Board, Cemetery Urban Forestry Advisory Commission, Code Board of Appeals Compensation Review Committee, Development Impact Fee Advisory Committee, Disability Advisory Commission, Emergency Medical Services Advisory Board, Historic Preservation Commission, Library Board Commission, Library Board of Trustees, Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission, Public Works Advisory Commission. These appointments may be voted on individually as a single slate in the discretion of the mayor of the council. Councilors, you were asked to submit your preference for some of these boards and commissions. I received some feedback, maybe not all of your feedback, so I'm going to do the best I can to make appointments that are fair for your interests. So what I'm going to do is we will vote on these individually, since I think there might be some broad interest in some of these rather than a single slate. So the first one is the Audit Committee. And we look at that, it's 2 city councilors, and we have Councilor Klein and Councilor Kleberg that have expressed interest in that only. So if the council is comfortable with Councilors Klein and Kleberg serving on the Audit Committee, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to
appoint.
appoint Counselor Klein and Counselor Kleberg to the Audit Committee.
Second.
We have a second? I missed
Yes.
it.
I seconded,
Yes, she did.
sorry.
Oh,
Mayor.
sorry.
Kayla Herman, City Attorney. If I could just clarify, the nominations actually need to be made by you, Mayor. So then you would just need a second from one counselor.
I'll take back my second.
Oh, I do make the motion, don't I? That's what I said.
I hate it when that happens.
Counselor Towsley already left. Okay. Well, I'm going to do it again for the night's over. So I move to appoint Councilors Klein and Kleberg to the Audit Committee.
Second.
Okay, I will not restate the motion since I'm making the motion. Is there discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you. Counselor Lidkey tried to tell me that, but I wouldn't listen to her.
Was that what you were saying?
Next up, counselors, we have appointments to the Audit Committee. The second one, I guess I put them both on here. Okay, I will get it. Okay, Downtown Improvement District. One city councilor, I have Councilor Lidkey. I move to appoint Councilor Lidkey as the council liaison to the Downtown Business Improvement District Advisory Board.
Second.
Is there discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, councilors. Next up is the Cemetery and Urban Forestry. We have 3 that have expressed interest in that, and one city councilor is appointed to that, so.
I'll withdraw mine. I'll withdraw mine because you wanted it. Okay,
Okay.
all right.
I'm going to make a motion to appoint Councilor Klein as the council liaison to the Cemetery Urban Forestry Advisory Commission.
Second.
Who's the second on that?
Me.
Any discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, councilors. Code Board of Appeals, I move to appoint Councilor Klein as the council liaison to the Code Board of Appeals.
Second.
Your discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. The next one is the Compensation Review Committee. We did not have anyone sign up for that. It's not critical today, but if somebody's interested, you could certainly put your name in the hat. Councilor Schroeder?
Yes.
Okay.
Put it down for 2.
Why am I doing that?
I move to appoint Councilor Schroeder as the council liaison to the Compensation Review Committee.
Second.
Your discussion? Hearing none, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Development Impact Advisory Committee. I move to appoint Councilor Lidkey as the council liaison to the Development Impact Fee Advisory Committee.
Second.
Is there discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Disability Advisory Commission, we have nobody signed up. Is there anybody last minute that wants to sign up? Okay, if we don't get it filled tonight, councilors, we can take it up another night. Okay.
Mayor,
Councilor Lidkey?
this is an important commission, and so if there is no interest, I will take it. The reason why I would like to not is because I am at work in the field in my day job, and I feel I'm a better resource than a liaison. But if no one else sees the importance of this, then I will certainly take it.
Councilor Lidkey, thank you. Let me check with our city attorney. Is that one that the mayor can fill?
No, Mayor, this has to be a council liaison.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you, Kayla. Okay, I move to appoint Counselor Lickey as the council liaison to the Disability Advisory Commission.
Second.
For discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have the Emergency Medical Services Advisory Board. I move to appoint Counselor Forsman as the council liaison to the Emergency Medical Services Advisory Board.
Second, sorry.
Is there discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I move to appoint Counselor Forsman as the council liaison to the Historic Preservation Commission.
Oh, yes. Second.
For discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I move to appoint Counselor Kleberg as the council liaison to the Library Board of Trustees.
Second.
Is there discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next up is the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission. I move to appoint Councilor Speckelmeyer as the council liaison to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Commission.
Second.
Is there discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Thank you. I move to appoint Councilor Schroeder to the Public Works Advisory Commission.
I'll second that.
Who?
She said second.
I said second. Is that okay?
No.
No, okay.
Is there discussion?
No.
Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, I'm going to reappoint Councilor Forsman to that too. They've each had 1 year on that commission, Councilor, so I'm going to let him get another year or two in. Councilor Speckelmeyer expressed interest in that. Councilor Klein, if you don't agree, you can vote against that motion. I move to appoint Councilor Schroeder or Councilor Forsman to the Public Works Advisory Commission.
Second.
Is there discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, councilors. Next up, we move to item E, appointments to other organizations. Considering the appointment of city councilors, the mayor, or city employees as applicable, as city representatives and/or members as applicable to the following organizations: Lewis-Clark Valley Metropolitan Planning Organization, 3 elected officials or their designees, Valley Vision, Lewiston Nez Perce County Airport Authority Board, Nez Perce County City of Lewiston Emergency Communications Joint Powers Board, Association of Idaho Cities, and Clearwater Economic Development Association, 1 member and 1 alternate. This is an action item. These appointments may be voted on individually or as a single slate in the discretion of the mayor and council. I will do these individually. The MPO. I move to appoint Councilor Schroeder as a city representative to the Lewis-Clark Valley Metropolitan Planning Organization.
Second.
Is there discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I move to appoint Councilor Kleberg as a city representative to the Lewis-Clark Valley Metropolitan Planning Organization.
Second.
Is there discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I move to appoint Public Works Director Dustin Johnson as the city representative to the Lewis Clark Valley Metropolitan Planning Organization.
Second.
Is there discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, councilors. Next up, I have a motion to appoint Councilor Lidkey as the city's representative to Valley Vision.
Second.
Is there discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, councilors. I move to appoint Councilor Klein as the council liaison to the Lewiston Nez Perce County Airport Authority Board.
Second?
Is there discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I move to appoint Councilor Lidke as the city's representative to the Nez Perce County City of Lewiston Emergency Communications Joint Powers E911 Board.
Second.
Is there discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I move to appoint Councilor Lidke as the city's representative to the Association of Idaho Cities.
Second.
Is there discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I move to appoint Mayor Johnson as the city's representative to the Clearwater Economic Development Association.
Second?
Is there discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. I move to appoint Councilor Schroeder as the city's alternate representative to Clearwater Economic Development Association.
Second?
Is there discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, councilors. Next, we have item F, Urban Renewal Agency, City Representative Appointment. I move to appoint Councilor Kleberg as the City Council Representative on the Urban Renewal Agency.
Second.
Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item G, Urban Renewal Agency City Alternate Representative Appointment. Considering the appointment of an alternate city councilor to the Urban Renewal Agency of the City of Lewiston, Idaho, this is an action item. I move to appoint Councilor Klein as the alternate city council representative on the Urban Renewal Agency.
Second?
Is there any discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, councilors. Next, we move to Roman numeral 12, unfinished and new business. Item A, city councilor comments. Comments shall not be related to an item currently before the city council or an item that may come before the city council in the foreseeable future and shall be limited to comments, not discussion.
Mayor,
Councilor Forsman.
I just want to wish everyone a happy new year. Looking forward to new prospects and goals to be complete and better roads and hopefully making the city look brighter, beautifuler for the citizens, as well as having a new council member. That's exciting that we're able to see some new fresh eyes come in and new ideas to bring to the table. So just want to wish everybody a happy, safe, healthy new year.
Thank you, Councilor.
Mayor?
Counselor Litkey?
With the weather coming up, that could be at least very cold, and some ice and snow. I know there's been discussion, speaking of the Disability Advisory Commission, there was discussion on whether or not we could connect with a group that maybe would help either elderly or disabled people shovel snow or at least make their pathways safe. We were not able to come to some agreement with a specific group, but I have been speaking to our local scouts, and they would be more than willing to take on service projects. So I would encourage, if somebody knows of anybody, that they can contact me through email and let me know, and I will connect with those scout masters to hopefully get something set up.
Thank you, Counselor. Next up is item B, City Boards and Commission Liaison Updates. This is your opportunity, counselors, as our representatives and the citizens' representatives on these very important committees and commissions that you serve on, to provide all of us an update with what's going on.
Mayor?
Counselor Forsman?
I just want to, more of, not so much of an update, but just excited to continue on the Public Works and making some changes. We're in the works of stuff and making, writing a letter for the Blue Bridge to hopefully work on some drainage there so it doesn't overflood when we have massive amounts of rain come down. And so I'm excited to continue my time on there. I also am sad, but also glad to see someone else on the Parks and Rec. I'll miss them. They're a lively bunch, dedicated bunch, and wanting to make sure that we have activities and fun things to do. So I'm glad to see it go to someone that I think will also be just as dedicated to the Parks and Rec Commission. So I think for my time on there and ready for new adventures.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Litkey?
Just quickly, first of all, the airport is doing very well. They are working on relationships with our airlines, and I think that you will enjoy learning more about what they do for our valley. They are looking at added flights and what that looks like for our community. So I would just encourage people to take a look at prices if you're trying to fly to Seattle or Denver. And if you have questions, please reach out to Director Mike Isaacs. He's more than willing to answer those questions. Also, the 911 Emergency Powers Board, we are working together with the county to figure out how we move forward if we are to consolidate. But also the big thing right now is when you travel outside of city limits where you see more frequent cell towers, you are limited in your ability to save a life. And so the work being done by that group is massively important at a state level. We need state legislation, and I would just commend Bill Reynolds and Dave Taylor for their work to make sure that we are being seen and heard by the powers that be so that we can have those technology advances so that we can protect our community. And then just, again, with the Disability Advisory Commission, our population is heavily, there's a lot of people with disabilities in our community, and accessibility is an issue. When we talk about empty buildings, when you're a business, it's not like you can just walk in and say, we're open for business. It's ADA compliance, things like that. And so that commission is very important. They're having a lot of discussions on how they can help Public Works receive grants to make those improvements. And so I think the commissions are working hard to make improvements, and I would encourage, I noticed that the city of Lewiston had an ad out for several positions, and I just encourage community members of all kinds to join and come with your ideas, because that's how we make things happen.
Thank you, Counselor. Further Counselor comments? Next up, Mayor comments. Well, I tell you, I'll second what Counselor Litkey shared with you about flying out of Lewiston Airport, I priced a round-trip ticket last night from Lewiston to Hartford, Connecticut, round trip for $345. Pretty darn good. So you can find good deals out there, just, you gotta watch for them, but they're available. And the convenience is wonderful. Also, if you didn't catch it today, our governor, Brad Little, gave his State of the State and Budget address, and he had a lot of positive things to say about the state of Idaho. He believes that we're moving in the right direction. We're going to continue to move in the right direction. He wants to make a lot of investments in transportation, in education, workforce development. So I think that speaks very well for our state, but I think it also speaks very well for our community. So I look forward to working with him and our partners in the Idaho legislature this coming session, and look for opportunities where we can build things together. So I was very excited about his message. Item D, Advisory Board and Commission appointments. Item 1, Business Improvement District Advisory Board, considering the reappointment of Michael Follett to a 2-year term. I move to approve the reappointment of Michael Follett to a 2-year term on the Downtown Business Improvement District Advisory Board.
Second.
Is there discussion? Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to item E, agenda topics. Councilors? Councilor Klein, just to let you know what this means, you have the opportunity as a councilor, if there's an item that you would like to bring before the council and place on a future agenda, this would be the time to bring that up to the council, and you could make a motion to add that to a future council agenda if you so choose. You'd make a motion, somebody would second it, and then it would either pass or not, and it would go on a future agenda. We wouldn't discuss the item necessarily, but it's just one way to say this is something I think is important for the people that, you know, I'm representing, and I'd like to have discussion on it. So if you don't have anything, just as a courtesy tonight to let you know what that's all about. That brings us to Roman numeral 13, adjournment.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Lidke.
I would move to adjourn. Second.
It's been moved by Councilor Lidke, second by Councilor Schroeder, Forsman, and Kleberg. To adjourn. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.